It's me, Pretty Pink Pawnee. Got me no O in your bus. Baby, I know how to use a get into it. Get into it. From the front now, in your bus now. Use a gun now. Grazie, ta ta ta. Hello, hello, hello. We are going to be starting in a few minutes. I just need a brief moment to do like two more things and then I will be ready to start the tour. Are y'all ready to start the tour? Are y'all ready to start the tour? Because I'm ready, but I need a few more moments, so enjoy the music. So if you really love me, then say you love me till the end of. Catch me and I'll catch you back. We'll keep falling till the end of time. Say you love me and my shattered mind till the end of time. Hi y'all. So today I'm going to be playing a little bit of Minecraft. I'm going to be touring my home area in the Pop U, not Pop U, in the Girly Pop region, which is associated with the Pop U Discord server, which is associated with Fawn the streamer content creator. I'm a big fan of Fawn. We've collaborated before. Um, Fawn is a huge inspiration, and I've been a part of that Discord community for years now. So I am going to be touring my area in the Minecraft server that I've been developing actually since October. So if you remember the Punktober era last year, um, that's when I started working on it, and I started working on it on stream. So you saw a lot of it. I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. I know that I've been talking to a lot of y'all in Discord. I've been very active in the Discord server recently. But here's my official on stream on Twitch. Happy New Year to everybody here. I do want to remind y'all about one thing before we get truly into it though. So let me set that up so I can show it to you. No. I am going to be having a presentation on the 9th, and it's going to be me talking about all my plans for the first, I would say the first few months of the year. I would really say it's going to be me talking about the first quarter, but it's not going to be a business meeting because honestly my business is not your business. But we are going to be having conversations about a lot of different playthroughs that I've done, a lot of different things that I've done on stream. That's going to be on January 9th, hopefully starting at 3 p.m. Central. We are going to be I'm going to be doing announcements about the badge quest. I'm going to be doing announcements about PPPGC, the in-game fashion review. We are going to be talking about the next show that we're going to be watching for weekend cartoons, among some other things. I have a lot of things that I want to announce for y'all, so I would really like if y'all showed up for this stream, because it's going to be a big one. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear me crunching. I'm eating some pretzels right now. I was starving. I took a really long shower today and I cleaned my room, and so I feel really good, but I haven't eaten in a minute. I had like coffee and a sandwich earlier, but that was it. So I need something. But yeah, without any further ado, I don't really have anything else to announce currently because all these announcements are going to be coming at the end of the week. Throughout the rest of the week, because I didn't do a stream schedule before I get into it though, I will say that I do plan on streaming this week. Maybe not every day, but at least some of the days of the week. I will alert you on what I'm gonna do if I have planned it ahead. If not, it's just gonna be a kind of a casual thing. I have some things that I really want to get done in a few of the Pokemon games that I'm playing for another project that I'm yet to announce. So definitely show up on Friday. And yeah. All right, now let me get this game set up. How we get here so damn fast. Only you could tell me that, baby, 'cause you know I'm coming back. You making me forget my past. All right, here we are. So, here is the estates. This is my house. You've seen me building this house. If you were around during Punktober, you would have seen me building this house on stream throughout a lot of that month, because that's when I started playing Minecraft for the first time. This is my house in the Girly Pop region, associated with the Pop U server and Fawn's community on Discord and Twitch. I started playing in this server in October. That was actually the first time I ever played Minecraft ever. I currently am playing with the shader pack. I don't know what it's called, I can tell you, but I don't know what it's called off the top of my head. So mostly what's on the itinerary for today is I'm going to be showing you around my house, telling you about the things that I built, talking about it. I might be changing a few of the signs and things like that as I go, so bear with me on that. And yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna keep the music playing, I think, if it's not too loud. But yeah, I do want to do a shout out for the icons of the day. So that would be a shout out for Sunburone, aka V, as well as CMB122498 and Majestic Milotic. Thank you for showing up to the stream on time. I will be posting this VOD to YouTube as well. All right, let's get into it. So this is my house. This is my house I don't really know what to say. There are a lot of things here. I've built it up all, but like the first thing that I actually fully built. Actually, I don't think it was the house. I think it was the other stuff. I think the first thing I actually fully built and then I continued building on it was the stable. But just as an overview of everything that we're going to be looking at today, we're obviously going to be looking at the house, the main house, all the rooms in the house and everything in the house. I have a shrine here to a fertility idol that we're going to be examining and talking about a little bit. I have a stable for all of my horses. There are also some goats, some donkeys, and a mule in there as well, with a statue of a Galarian Ponyta on top of it. You're gonna see a few things like the sniffer exhibit, among other things. It's also an exhibit for pandas. I have you can see some of these things from here, but I have the chorus fruit plants in the back. I also have a bamboo garden as well. There are also some other houses and homes on the estates that I will give you a preview of without going into too much depth. I have 2 farms that I've built in this area that I wanted to showcase to you. We could talk a little bit about the bridge, but I didn't really want to focus on the bridge because I feel like the bridge has been an established part of the build for a long time, and most of you already know about the bridge. Although this is the bridge. Here you see. I mean, we've talked about the bridge. Who knows what the name of the bridge is? Put it in the chat. I also have a fishing cabin down these stairs, which also connects you directly to, you have to pass through my original farm for that as well. And I also have a public mine, since this is a private community server, but it is public in the sense that like anybody can walk through here. Anybody who has access to this server can walk through this server at any time. The mines are connected to each other, and this mine specifically that's near my house is connected to other people's areas as well. I consider it a public mine, but it's mostly a public mine entrance. All right, so let's get into it. How's your spaghetti, V? You're right, Milotech. Hi, Catboy. So let's talk about the house first. I started building this house in October of 2025. The population of this area is mostly animals. There, at any given moment, there's probably, I know that I have like probably a dozen horses, mules, and donkeys. I have 2 goats. I probably have like, I would say somewhere between, at any given moment, somewhere between 25 and 100 cattle and 25 and 100 sheep. But oftentimes, because the main export from this area, as far as I'm concerned, the items that I produce the most in my area would be sheep and cattle products. So that would be like wool, meat, and leather. That's the majority of what I get from this area because of the abundance of those animals specifically. You're gonna see a lot of them on here. That's also part of the reason why I have the Galarian Ponyta build, is because the Galarian Ponyta is a horse, and I have that built on top of my stable. So here's the living room. Maybe I should turn on the sound. All right. So here's the living room. You can see my dog, Diana. She's the mother to majority of the dogs that I own. There are a bunch of dogs on the property. There's probably about 10 dogs on the property in different areas of the house. I have a few cats. This one is Dispotter. Dispotter is the Latin name for the Greek god Hades. It means Death Father. I also have 3 cats in the area. Here's my kitchen. The first part of the house that I actually built, though, for those of you who might remember, of this developed building was actually the storage room. I built the storage room, and it mostly looks the same. It's a little bit bigger. And originally there was a bed in the corner, and I also kept a mule in the back of the storage room. I have 5 copper golems working in here, which their names are Glimmer, Gleam, and Glow. And then I also have Glisten and Glamour over here. There are 5 of them. They are constantly sorting all of my items. They work basically by any items that you want sorted in your area. You have to put all of the items that you want sorted in the copper chest that's associated with them, and they search through the nearest copper chest, and then they cycle through all of the nearest wooden chests that they can reach. They can't reach all of the chests in this room, so sometimes I have to sort through this like this. This is full of netherrack. I have also nether brick items in here as well, because I use that for my roof. You can see here the ceiling of this room is actually nether brick, and so I keep that in here. I have to sort some of these boxes, these chests manually. Since I've been spending a lot of time away from this area recently, I've been spending a lot of time away from this area recently, so they don't have a lot to sort right now. But this is the beginning of the house. After I built this part of the house, which I have recently decorated, you can see Comet's head here, and this is Pixie's head as well. Started building this hallway, which leads to the upstairs area of the house, and then I built this room. This is the enchanting room. Actually, right now I'm holding an allay for Damsel. It doesn't have a name. It's just floating around the room, and I have here's one of my other dogs. This dog is not related to any of the dogs in the property, but her name is Rhiannon. She is a descendant of one of the dogs owned by V, who's in the chat. I just knew it was the Bridges Sisterhood. I just couldn't say anything because I'm late to work. We'll get into it. I'm sorry you're late to work. So this is the enchantment room. This room also connects directly to the room that I have my allay observatory in. I have 7. I think I have 7 allays right now. Their names are Sprinkle, Sparkle, Tinkerbell, Twink, Wish, Whimsy, and Waif. So I do have 7. I would say I think 6 of the 7 or 5 of the 7 were helped procured by Comet. So there's a special thanks here to Comet Core for helping procuring the allays. Comet is like the biggest person in the server who has the most allays, because Comet's area has a bunch of them, and like that was part of their vision for their area that they developed in the server. And recently there have been some that have been escaping from another thing that Comet was working on in the Victory Road, which is not too far away from this area, and that's where I got this one from. If y'all know, y'all know. But yeah, so in here it's just like a sitting room for the to observe the allays. They love to be in here. Sometimes I go in there and I'll start playing music for them and stuff. And it's really nice to just kind of sit here if I'm idling or if I'm doing something on and my computer is on and I was already playing Minecraft but I need to check my phone or something. I can come in here. I can just, turn off my, little items or whatever you call it, and then I can just watch them fly around and float around. I really like this room. I would like to expand this room, but I'm not there yet currently. I love to put paintings and stuff up. I also love to have as many windows as I can, so you can see this from outside of the house, and so that's why there's a big window right here, even though this window is not even, which I did that for a reason. But yeah, so once you leave that area, you enter into this upstairs area. These stairs connect directly to the living room, which we were already in. This is my first cat, Aurora. And that connects also to my bedroom area. I keep all of my armor in this bedroom, and then the rest of it is mostly ornamental decorative. There's also access to the roof from this area of the house. I didn't know this was open, but there is roof access to this area as well, if you would ever like to come to my roof and get struck by lightning. It took the hardest part of building this house was actually doing the roof, because I had to plan out the roof. These rooms that I have built in this part of the house, so that would be the living room, my bedroom, and the hallways connected to it, as well as the staircase. They're a little hard to it's like a half circle, and I built it like a tower, so it's a little hard to build a roof to something like that without a plan, and I freehanded the house. After I built the entire house, I actually ended up putting a kitchen onto it. I was somewhat inspired by Damsel's kitchen, if you know what her house looks like. But yeah, I put a kitchen in here. This is where I store all of my food. And I really do enjoy this kitchen. It feels very cozy to me. This house, to me, if I were going to describe it, it would be a Victorian style house, similar to what you might see in the southern United States for sure. especially built in like the 18th century, obviously, or the 19th century. What would it be? I guess it would be the 20th century. So it would be like the 18th and so it would be the 19th and the 20th century would be like when you would see houses like this being built. And especially because it's so close to the water, I feel like it does kind of take on the essence of a house that's a little bit more tied to nature, because there is a trench down there that I built this house on in the first place. Originally my house stood where the shrine sits right now. Here's two more of my dogs. This one doesn't have a name yet, and then this one is Io. Io is actually the Romanization of the Egyptian goddess Isis, aka Aset. They tied her into their mythology by giving her a new name and giving her a mythological story. Yeah, so originally my house was built here, and then I tore that house down because I wanted to kind of expand outward this way, so that's kind of what I did. After I started developing the house a little bit, actually one of the first things that I did before I even developed the house was actually build my main, we started building the bridge, but then I started building this main, farm area. To take you to the Garden of Eden. This farm area, it's pretty wide. It basically has everything that you would need from a farm in Minecraft, minus like a few things. So like you can't get any bamboo from here, and you can't get any chorus fruit from here, but you can get everything else. There are there's cactus here. There are some local bees, but I feel like the bee population's been going down a little bit, so I am gonna have to come down here and breed them and kind of put some more bees out here. So yeah, there's that. I built and developed a lot of this area on stream. You might have seen it in October. I don't know if those VODs are still around, but I did do that in October. And the biggest part of the project actually was doing all these inlays on the wall, which I was using baked terracotta for that, and I was just putting this little pattern on there. And the inlays go all the way down to the mine. Which actually the door is open to the mine. Hello. But this is like the what is this? The Pretty Pink Estates public mine. You love the wall. Thank you. Somebody messaged me on. Okay, yeah, so this is the public mine. This is really just the mine entrance. This was also one in like the first like category of things that I built. Yeah, it's connected to a forest. I put all these trees out here, and I did terraform this area a little bit. But I put this path here so it would be easy to get to the mine. If you pass this area up just a little bit, you will actually be right at the Pokemon League. If you would like to see that. Which, at the time of the recording of this stream, that event like just had recently just taken place. Where a Fawn had went and defeated the Elite Four in the Pop U server. I do have a farm stand here next to the cat cafe because I am I'm an employee, allegedly, of the cat cafe. If you come into any of the cat cafes on the server, owned by Nick, you will see that I am a beloved employee or an employee of the month, depending on which one you go to. But this isn't part of my house. It's just near my house. So let's go back to my house. So I showed you the farm. Let's go back to the mine. If you go into the public mine, and you go and read all the signs, it literally, the first thing that you see, or that you read, is the rules. Do not kill citrus. Take whatever you'd like. Good luck. And then here, there's cobblestone. I have some dirt in case anybody wants to use those things to climb or whatever. There's some swords, some buckets, and pickaxes. I try to keep it stocked. There's a bed in here, and there is some smelting. I haven't really touched it or used it, but I felt like it was good to have some things in here. I haven't been in here in a few weeks. But once you come in here, it said the main rule is don't kill citrus. And that's because Citrus is my cave chicken and she lives right here. And she's an icon. You're going to the public mine? Get into it. Stop by and say hi first. I don't know why there's dirt here. Yeah, so I just built this little enclosure for Citrus. She actually lived here before I even built my house. So she's really not like, I claim her as my chicken, but she's really more like she's more like the mascot of the area. She lived in this cave. She fell down here one day when I was here before I covered this area, because this whole cave area, this whole massive cave used to be exposed and open, but my house is actually connected up here. So I covered this because I didn't want it to be too expansive. Hi V, where'd you go? V, I did some strip mining down here. Have fun exploring. Good luck. If you want to go to the ancient city is this way. But if you want to go to the ancient city, there's actually an entrance in my area that you can use. After I did all of this, is your house part cave? Yes, it is actually. So I built this house on the mountain, right? I prefer people not to enter through this part of my house because I feel like it's a little bit of a breach of privacy, especially because I keep all my shit in here. And I don't want my my golems leaving, and they will leave this door if it's open. But I showed you all the rooms to the house, but one of the rooms that I didn't show you is actually the glow garden, aka the indoor cave garden. I also did start this in the month of October. And basically it's just my indoor cave garden. It has a lot of the materials that you could find throughout the Minecraft universe that glow. So that includes things from the Skulk, things from the Nether, which the Skulk is the ancient city. So it includes things from the Skulk items, it includes the things from the Nether, things from the caves. It has glowberries in here, all kinds of stuff. I have a little small river in here that normally has tropical fish, although recently some of those tropical fish have perished. I don't know exactly why they perished in here, but I'm gonna have to go and harvest some more of them so I can put some more in here, because right now I think there's only one or two. In the back of this area, it's a little untamed right now, but it didn't used to look like this. It used to be a little bit more manicured, I feel. Although I do kind of like the untamed aspect of it. I have this. This is kind of like a dedication to the original owners of the house, the villagers. My house is not built on a village or anything like that, but I just thought it would be funny to have a little bit of like a, you know, a little taste of like mystery and esotericism in the back. You know what I mean? This door will actually lead you directly to my public mine. So if you saw, I'm gonna break down the door because I don't want to. There's no public entrance from this area because sometimes mobs do spawn up here. But if you saw, there was this long elevator-like ladder that connects you to the mine, and here we are. And there's Citrus's house right there. Here's me. V should be over there somewhere. And this is an entrance. So this takes you to my house, but there's no public entry. Are there many plants? Are there any plants or stuff that risk spawning mobs? No. But it's just better not to, you know. the plants don't spawn the mobs or anything, but like some of these plants are actually created by things like sniffers. Sniffers come and find pitcher plant pods or like torch flowers. Was that a dog? As long as the dogs are okay. Yeah, so that's just the cave garden. We already saw all the ins and outs of the house. Actually, while I'm here, maybe I should set my spawn to inside the house. That way I don't like die and end up somewhere. So after I sleep the night, I'll go and I'll showcase to y'all what's going on in the let me turn this chat off because they're talking a lot, and I don't have a problem with any of y'all if y'all are in there talking, but I just don't need to see like all the conversation. Yeah, so this is also another way that I get up onto the top of my roof, is I'll come up over here because it's easy to get over here. This is the hallway. This is the LA sanctuary right here on the inside of this, and you can see some of the larger windows in the area too. Like that's my bedroom. This is the LA sanctuary room. This is like the exhibit room. This is more of my bedroom. Beneath here is the kitchen. Before we move on from the house, why don't I move on and I'll show you this. So these torch flowers are also, the seeds for these are also things that you can get from the sniffers as well. I was playing a different game and decorated a house with plants that I quickly learned spawn mobs. No, nothing like that, no. But here's my bee. I have a greenhouse that has my bees. So this is kind of like my official, unofficial backyard in a way. That's not connected to any particular farm. And I have in here actually my greenhouse that has my bees. So like back here is like a garden, and then the garden continues in here with a lot of flowers, and then all my bees. This is how I get a lot of my beeswax. And it's taken a lot for me to get these bees. And actually these bees are directly related to all the bees in my area. So like if you go to my farm, for example, my main farm that I've shown you on here, all those bees are related. I think originally I had like 3 bees in here. In my travels, I have found a few parrots. So I have one right here that does not have a name. I have this one named after Phoebe from Animal Crossing. And then I have another one right here. So that's 2 blue parrots and 1 red one. Thank you for the subs. Oh my gosh. Hi, damsel. Tummy full of edible gummies. I'm feeling yummy. Hi, Sam. Appreciate y'all. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've shown you all of this. Here's 2 more of my dogs. This one is Fortuna, and this one is Njordir, named after 2 deified figures as well from different cultures. If you ever have anything for me that you would like to give to me for whatever reason, put it in this mailbox. I also have a P.O. box here. But yeah, here's my 2 sniffers. This is Snee Snoo and Snoo Snoo. I think Snoo Snoo is stuck over here, actually. Yeah, I think Snoo Snoo is stuck over here, but this is Snoo Snoo. Snoo Snoo is also a descendant, similar to like one of the dog that I showed you Rhiannon. Snoo Snoo is also a descendant of these 2 sniffers. I also have some more tropical fish in here. This is the pond for them. They don't swim, but they do float. At one point I had vines in here and they were climbing that bitch. I didn't realize that there were more vines in here, but whatever, honestly. Oh, and you can see here Snoo Snoo is digging out a pitcher pod. So the majority of the items that I use, like the biggest item that I use for architecture in my specific like house, and also the builds that are specifically owned and operated by me, is cherry wood. So it's either cherry wood logs like this, or it's cherry wood planks like this. I do use this is mangrove wood, I believe. And then I use nether bricks for the roofs, and sometimes a mixture. Like I also use, and I also almost all of my buildings have a trim or some pale oak on it as well, which is actually the reason that my banner looks the way that it does. A lot of people, when they have established areas in the server, they have banners. My banner is more of kind of like a an abstract view of my area in a way, with the pink sky, and then it shows the red roof with the white trim on it, and with a yellow path similar to the paths that you see if you walk around my area, with green grass next to it, and it's surrounded by a blue frame, which is supposed to represent my area being the way that you can reach my area if you were trying to get through to the entrance would actually be from crossing the bridge. The bridge goes over a trench that has a river at the bottom of it, which actually leads me right to this area. I'll show you the farm last, and that'll help me like move on to the other areas of the other areas of my area. But this is the trench that we live on, and this is my fishing area as well. I don't know who put these boats here, because these are Damsel's boats. Hi, Damsel. I don't know who put these boats here or why they're here, but these are Damsel's boats that she keeps on her area. Must have been people who were exploring or something. I'll be putting fan mail and a couple of Isle Delfino drink tickets in there. Thank you. If y'all ever want to get drunk with me at Isle Delfino, just let me know. All right, Damsel, let me see if there's another area for this freaking boat. Yeah, weren't there two boats over here? There you go. So this is Damsel's area. She has the Starlight District over here. She has a lot of builds, a lot of builds too. It's a very different feel for my area. My area is more of kind of like a... Her area is like whimsical and magical, but still very natural. It's kind of like a scene that you would see if you were going to get, if you had like art, like mystical magical art that you would have of a unicorn and a fairy, and that you would have got from like the 1960s. My area is more of like a really rich person who happened to live on a river in the 1960s. Does that make sense? Thank you for putting a plate of spaghetti in the box. I'm kind of hungry. I'm eating my pretzels, but I'm done with them. So this is my fishing hut. You can fish from here. These are my boats. I've actually used these boats before to travel some of the area. Here's one of the fishing spots that you can use, and this gives you a good view of the Mia Way actually. If you take this path down here, it actually takes you to the Quartzine Fountain. Welcome to the Quartzine Fountain, which is this. This is a visual display. It's kind of like modern art in a way, natural art that I built because I wanted to put something on the mountain just to add a little bit of like ambiance to the mountain, since the area is so mountainous because we live on a trench. And when I say we, I mean me and Damsel, because Damsel lives over there. This is Damsel's house right here. She lives right off the trench. I also live right off the trench, like across the river. That's why you built the bridge. Because I already knew, I believe when I came to the server, I already knew I was going to live in this area because we had actually picked it out before I even had gotten Minecraft. So this is the Quartzine Fountain. It took a long time to build, like a week. It's big terracotta on the walls. It utilizes these like sea lanterns in all of the pipes. All of the pipes are made of waxed copper, which I actually procured a lot of that from one of the from a nearby trial chamber. There's a few of those in the area connected to the mine, so you might find those if you go and explore the mines. Yeah. And I really like this area because it's very tranquil. This is also where I keep my homegrown mangrove trees. I do not use these mangrove trees. They're just ornamental. But I do really like having the mangrove trees here because I feel like it adds a little bit of ambiance. I like to have like a collection of things, if you notice. Like I have, and like, oh, you'll see this more when I show you my horses and when I show you like and like you've seen some of my dogs. Like I have a bunch of different dogs and they're all different. A lot of them are different colors. I like to have a bunch of different trees around, things like that. So you'll see some more of that. I also, because of the relationship to nature that this area kind of has, when I first ventured to Isle Delfino, which is the area that Milotic's in the chat and also on here right now, he owns Isle Delfino. When I first went there, I actually collected some turtle eggs so that I could develop a turtle beach for myself. So there's a series of turtles that live in the area on the water, on the beach. I collected all the sand and built the beach because originally, even though this is a river biome, there was very little sand over here. So I collected all the sand that I could from this area and put it in one spot, and then I expanded the beach even further. So there's probably like somewhere between, I would say, a dozen to 25 turtles that live out here, swim on this beach, and actually call this particular beach itself home. And they have a strong relationship to the beach that they're born on, so a lot of times they all kind of hang out over here. Sometimes you might see them hanging out on the other side of the trench, specifically over in Damsel's area over there, but the majority of the time they're over here. But there's so many of them that they'll go over there if they need to. They don't care. If you ever come to this area, you need to be careful though, because sometimes there might be turtle eggs out there, because sometimes, like if I kill a turtle, or if a turtle happens to die and I'm aware of the fact that the turtle died, I will put some more turtle eggs out there. And so a lot of them do live on this beach. And they come back to this beach to lay their eggs. So this is the fishing cabin. Only the bottom part of the bottom floor of this cabin is open to the public, but I do want to show it to you. Hi, Pickle. Thank you for the sub. So here's the public area of the fishing cabin. There is actually no public access to the upper floors, but if you're ever over here fishing in the area, there's plenty of there's things for you to do. So here's like a blast furnace or smoker here. Here's a furnace here. There's some boats if you need them, things like kelp, cod. There's a bunch of fishing rods. I have some buckets in case you need it, in case you're trying to develop anything. There's also a bed here. But I'm not going to show you that because, this is all I'm going to show you from the fishing cabin, because now I need to actually cover up my screen so that way I can go to the upper level, since the upper level is actually secret. How to get up there is actually a secret. So I'm going to get over there and then I'll come back. So here is the inside of the second level. So down here, this will connect you directly to the first level. But here is the second level. It's just storage mostly, but I also have like my own personal apartment here that I could sleep in if I would like to. Actually, I think I might. But that's about it. It's kind of like a little nice apartment. If anybody ever wanted to stay in my area or stay, or if there's like, or if like a friend of mine, for example, like at one point Sam had come through and Sam was playing on here before he had his own small little abode. I told him that he could come and stay in this apartment, but he decided not to. So if anybody ever does want to come stay in the apartment for whatever reason, like if they're trying to fish and they need to go sleep somewhere, there's still availability for you to do that because there's a bed in here. So like I said, there are some bees that I have. They're wild. They are wild yet tamed bees. This is my lava farm down here. I don't really like to show it, but this is my lava farm. I did develop this at one point as well. And you have to wish and dream really hard. Yes, you have to manifest your way into the house. Here's the lava farm here. I don't know. It's just where I collect my lava from. Once you set up the lava with the dripstone, you can multiply the amount of lava that you have. So like, As long as there's like, as long as you pour the lava directly on top of the air, this part, and there's lava flowing directly down, if you put the dripstone on it, it'll create more in the buckets. Hey, is this Mobsuki? I have my chat off, so if you're talking to me or anything, I cannot hear it. Or I can't see it. Hi, Mobsuki. Okay, so I've shown you the fishing cabin, I showed you the quartzine fountain, I showed you the mines, I showed you the bees, I showed you the farm. Over here, this is just my this is actually just like a secret, like a side entrance to my storage room. So this is my compost where I make bone meal. If anybody who lives in this area ever needs bone meal, you can come over here and use the compost. And this door takes you directly to my the inside of my storage room from the farm. So this is what I use to get around. Very easy, very simple. But I already showed you the house. Oh. Not you giving me a diamond, thank you. So I already showed you the house. You could have just put this in the mailbox, not a piece of coal. Oh, it says Sketty, Cyclone, and Joker. Right, so I showed you the house, I showed you all the rooms to the house, I showed you the sniffers, I showed you all of this. Before I move on to the farm and show you all the farm and the shrine and everything else, my Lutic's house and everything like that, would you say that I'm a pyromaniac? No, I would not say that. Why would you say that? So this is actually just a little garden area that I've developed. I forgot that I had bees in this area, but they're getting their life. The fact that all three of all three of the bees who live in this particular area are getting their life. There's a little garden space over here, so it makes sense, but it's whatever. Let me put some of this bamboo over here since I have so much of it. So you already saw the majority of like my actual main, like my living area, my living quarters, things like that. But what you didn't see is my like you didn't see my farming complex. I have a complex for all that where I keep all the cattle and all of the sheep. Actually where we are right now is on top of the quartzine fountain. Behind my portal, there is the farm. This is my original farm stand. In the farm, there are 3 farm stands currently. There's one behind my portal in the overworld, one behind my portal in the nether, and there's also one next to the cat cafe on Victory Road. Also known as the Pokemon League. In all of them, there are items that you can get. These are all things that I have procured mostly from my own farm, or mostly things that I do not need or do not want that you can come and take. So if you ever need any food, building items, things like eggs, wool, meat. Sometimes I put tree saplings and flowers in here as well, things like that, or even farm items. The first place that you can go is the farm stand. So here's the farm stand behind my actual portal right now. There's plenty of items in there, including some smooth stone, some cookies, some honeycomb, eggs, all kinds of stuff. Oh, we'll leave him for right now. Just the hot bro, bitch. Hot, see it. Now here's the one inside the nether if you wanted to see it. So I guess that's one of the things that I think is really something that I think I'm focused on somewhat is helping people if they are new to the server. So if you ever need anything, come to the farm stand, take what you need. Right now there's watermelon in here. I was gonna replenish them in here while I was here. While I was on today. But I probably will do that off stream just because it's a little bit of work and like my game is a little bit laggy. So once you come into the area from the bridge, you'll see the sign that welcomes you to the area, and you'll see the house. You'll see all the farm areas, but then you'll also see this side path here. This is the scenic route to the rest of the estates. There are actually 3 other individuals who currently fly my banner in this area. I live on the edge of a forest biome that is connected to a meadow biome. And so this little walking path actually takes you to the back area of my farm space that will take you to the pandas. It'll take you to the public farm that I have over here. You'll see Dre's house, Dre the Stallion. I built this house for Dre. I built all of this farm area. And then you will see Milotic's house here. Milotic is in the house right now. I might not be a pyromaniac, but I will set him on fire. You want to see? Oh, here's V. Milotic setting his own house on fire. Originally at this farm, I did have some bees who lived out here, but Milotic killed them. Over here is also where I keep my pandas, and this is also my bamboo farm. We can walk in there and we can see the pandas. I have a variety. I have multiple of these, sugarcane farms around here too, because like, you know, you need a lot of sugarcane. Like if you notice, I've been flying a little bit with my rockets and my elytra. You need a lot of sugarcane. So this is the bamboo area. This is one of the newest parts of my living space is the panda farm. I had to import these pandas from a very far away rainforest because the closer rainforests don't have any pandas in them right now, I don't believe. Or at least we haven't seen any or found any, but I have a bunch of pandas in here right now. Right now there's actually a breeding and distribution program, so if anybody would like a panda, you can definitely take one. Although Milotic, since you literally live over here, I don't think that you can have one by. But I love the pandas. It's very rainforest-esque. There are actually some tropical fish in here as well. The pork rind factory. Oh, well, you haven't seen my pig exhibit. I would say my pig. What would you call it? The pig pen, not the pig exhibit. Yeah, but pandas are really interesting because they have a bunch of different personality types. So like, there's like this is the lazy panda. They like to lay around a lot. This is the normal panda. They're just kind of they have a kind of a neutral disposition. There are brown pandas, which is considered a personality type. As far as the breeding is concerned, there's a sickly one around here somewhere, but I couldn't tell you which one it is. I think it's this one. Hello? It's not. There's a sickly panda around here. They all kind of hang out over here. Sometimes they hang out on the upper part, sometimes they don't. I don't really bother them. There's so many. This one is the sickly one. You can see it. He's sniffly. There are also aggressive pandas. Those are the least ideal ones, especially while I have this breeding program working for me, because they will attack you. And if they see you harm another panda, they will never rest until you die in front of them multiple times. This is also where I harvest all my bamboo. Originally, it was just this area, and then once I imported the pandas, I built this sanctuary for them. I really like it. I like how it feels kind of like foresty, but it's still like walkable. Yeah, there are 2 brown ones in there. Yeah, so this actually takes you to the backside of my farm. Now let's talk about all the animals on the farm. So this is my chicken coop. The chicken coop is where you can get all the eggs. Take any and all eggs you like. It is open to the public if you ever want any eggs. All you have to do is come over here and take the eggs. That's it. And then leave with the eggs. They're all going to replenish the eggs almost immediately. There are so many chickens in here that if you take one thing of eggs, they're going to replenish the eggs. I do have some chickens that I actually raise for meat as well. So like if you come over here, this is my chicken area. It says notice, please look but do not touch. I don't want people to come over here and harm my animals because these are here for me. These are here for my inventory. Like, so like when I decide to come in here with my sword and kill the chickens, I kill the chickens. But these are this is the chicken, this is kind of like what I would call the chicken run. If this is the chicken coop, if this is what you would consider a chicken coop, this is considered a chicken run, right? You can also see I have multiple iron golems around the area for security. Originally, it was all iron golems. Here's Lido, the dog. You've met a lot of the other dogs. Lido is one of the first children of Diana. Here is my llama pen. All of these llamas were actually procured specifically from villager traders. Here's my pig pen. The pigs really they love to come back here and hang out specifically in the pool. I don't know what it is about this pool, but they love this pool. And there's mud back here too. They get their life in this pool area. So like I could probably leave that door open and the majority of them will probably never like actually leave. Because they love the pool. I don't know what it is. A slice of pound cake sounds really good. I saw a TikTok of somebody who was making pound cake the other day. So these are all my llamas. They've been procured mostly by me killing villagers that come to my area and try to trade things to me. Here are all my cattle. Right now the numbers of cattle is pretty low. I have to go and collect a little bit of wheat and replenish the cattle numbers a little bit, but right now here are all my cattle. I developed this little yard for the cattle, that way I can have as many cattle as I want, collect leather and things like that. Originally when I was developing this is when I was building my library, which is also the room that you know as the enchantment room. And you need a lot of leather to make books, so I was collecting a lot of cattle. I think I see a sheep back there. I don't know why there's a sheep in here. There is a sheep. It's right there. It's like, it looks like it's dark gray. Might be black. And then if you come up here, here's the sheep yard. It's very loud. In game, it's very loud. I don't know if you can actually hear that. Yeah, you can. It's very loud here. I keep a lot of sheep up here. Sometimes I do kill them for mutton and things like that. Here is where I've previously kept rabbits. I don't think there are any rabbits in here currently, but I did at one point have rabbits in here. Currently the only one who's living in here is Njord, the golem, of no relation to Njordir the wolf. I don't know where all the rabbits went. I think they just despawned. Rabbits do spawn over in this area naturally, so if you ever come to this area, or if you look around too hard, like you might see some rabbits spawning in the actual cow room, the cow field, because the cow field is connected to the meadow. I love me a little piece of pound cake. You're laying down with your tummy full. Get into it. Beyond that, here is my happy guest. Her name is Stacy. If you know, you know. Here's another one of my dogs. This one's name is Sir Nunos. Here's Stacy. Also, if you noticed, I do have a mushroom. I do have a small collection of mushrooms here as well. Bitch, sometimes this is more like a petting zoo than a farm. But I have a collection of mushrooms. Something that I've done on this server recently as part of one of my public works is I went to, there's like a island where, that is like, what is it called? It's like the mushroom forest or whatever, where it's like you can see all the giant mushrooms and it's covered in the mycelium. I actually went there and I actually organized it. I developed it. I expanded the island a little bit. I started breeding the mushrooms. I imported brown mushrooms to the island. I did a lot of stuff with that specifically in my free time. And then after I finished that project, I imported some of the mushrooms here, which actually helped me fill in this area. This is one of the last things that I did for the farms. So you've seen all the animals. I do kill these animals for meat. The only animals that never truly get harmed would be the llamas and the mushrooms, and also any of the chickens that you see in the coop. Obviously I don't harm the dogs or the horses, but there are a bunch of horses in here as well. In a more quiet area of the farm. I have a stable full of horses. So here there's multiple horses. They all have names. I'm not going to go through the list of names with you, but there are all a bunch of horses in here. All of them are tamed. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them are tamed. Some of them aren't. Like this one right here is named Toasty. She's not tamed. This is my mule right here. The mule's name is actually, I don't think is this Cambria? This is not Cambria. I think the mule's name is something else, but girl, who knows? Anyway. And then I also have some skeletons in here. Their names are Skelly, Kelly, and Smelly. They're in here and they have lava to drink instead of water. I have some goats that I've procured recently. Goats are a little bit unpredictable, and also they ram into things and can jump very high, so they're kind of in more of a jail cell than a than like a stable. But it's whatever. Here are my donkeys. Here's another one of my horses. This is Stella. Stella's a newer horse. The stable actually has 13 individual stalls, and that's why that there are skeleton horses in here, because this is the 13th stall. All right, so I've shown you all the different buildings and all the different things. One of the other things that I have is the shrine. This shrine is actually in dedication to an idol. Long story short, there's actually a whole story, a lore book that I specifically developed for this idol. The other lore book that I've written in this server is the lore about the bridge, which also does detail some of the origin story of this area, the Pretty Pink Estates. But I have there's a fertility idol in this particular area known as the One Who Changed. During his lifetime, he was known as the One Who Changes, but now he is the One Who Changed. He is a copper golem who sacrificed himself in order to produce fertility to all of the farms and what is it? I think it's all the farms in the area. There are free books and copies of the original story of the One Who Changed, if anybody would ever like to take them to their own personal libraries in the server. And how you can get a blessing from the One Who Changed is by opening up this copper chest for him and putting in these items, giving him any of your treasures, and he will bless your farms. I am doing another archaeological study right now outside of Hollyberry, so there might be a shrine popping up there soon. I have found some interesting things in that area, but I'm not at liberty to speak about these things just yet. Once you leave this area, you will see Dre, Milo Chicken, Sam's estates are up here. So you've already seen a lot of stuff. Before we move on too far, I do have this what is this called? The chorus fruit farm. So I have a bunch of chorus fruit plants out here that I went and collected specifically from the end. It was not very easy to get all this shit, but I did get them, and I do have a lot of it now. And actually, I utilized some of that the purple blocks to make that to make this Valerian Ponyta statue. Here's Odin, the golem, and here's the Ponyta. Let's see how lucky I am. Not very lucky right now. So this is the Ponyta statue. This is one of the most recent things I built in this area because I'm working on another project that's really big that I have not showcased or spoken about on stream. But yeah, I use purple blocks, and I also use prismarine bricks to make this, as well as a little bit of wool, among other things. There's a few other materials up there that I used to develop this Galarian Ponyta. I felt like it was a good representation of the area, the essence of the area, because it's whimsical, but it's also still, you know, it's connected to the mundane. Also, I felt like it was interesting because this year is the year of the horse, and this Ponyta is a horse. Honestly, Galarian Ponyta is like a unicorn, but anyway. What about the lore of the honeysuckles? I don't know anything about that, girl. So yeah, that's basically the ins and outs of my area. Once you leave this area though, you can also see Dre's house. I did build Dre's house. I'll give you a slight preview of Dre's home, but I'm not gonna go super in depth with all the stuff that I did, but I did build this house. And Dre does live here and utilize these facilities, obviously. Which is why Dre flies my banner. Also, the house is literally like, I don't even know if that's 100 blocks away from my house. And here's the bedroom. I also built this, and I decorated it. The main feature of the house that I really like to tout is, first of all, it's completely made of cherry wood logs, which was a lot. Also, this lovely rainbow ass window. I felt like that was like a big flex when I first built the house. It was so pretty. I also did this area as well. I originally was the one who gave Dre the horse and the llama. There's some more tropical fish out here, a small chicken coop, etc. This is part of Dre's original build in this area. Beyond this, Dre has a lot of cats. Those aren't. I don't know anything about that. Those are just Dre's cats. Dre made those cats with Neonix. After Neonix started developing the thing, the cat cafe. Here's Milotic's house. You saw a little glimpse of it. I did not help build this house. The infrastructure of this house is not really any of my business. Here's the main part of the house. You can see there's a TV here, sitting area, a small kitchen. This is Milotic's home away from home, because Milotic's main area is actually Isle Delfino currently, but he is slowly but surely moving away from that area, even though he's still going to be the one who runs it. At least that's what I understand. Yeah. Besides that, something else that I was planning on working on at some point was a path over here to Sam's house. Sam also lives out here, not too far out from Dre. Sam is going to be turning this small little ravine into a dungeon of sorts, and he has a house right here. I helped him build this house, but he's reserved the space for his own personal build whenever he's ready to do it. It's been a while since he's been on, but he also does wave my banner as well. There it is. You can see the inside of the house. I did gift him some items in here recently. I don't know if he's been on enough, if he's been on recently to even see that I did gift him some items, but it's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. It's okay. No, it's okay. Oh, I'm like laggy. Here we go. And that's it. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Like I said, I do live here. I do live near the Pokemon League. I was actually here before Victory Road was built or finished. And part of the reason that I live here is because I wanted to be in close proximity to Damsel. Even though there are a few drawbacks, like living near a public works area, or like a public area that was like still being established as the more public area, I felt like it was a little bit close. I wasn't necessarily for or against the building of the Pokemon League, but it did feel like it was very close to my my development. But that wasn't really my choice, considering that me living here, I'm actually living on one of the original sites being considered for the Pokemon League, so it's like not surprising. But also during the day that Fawn was actually at the Pokemon League, I was there, like I was on Minecraft there when Fawn was doing all of this, so it felt like I was like around the corner from my house, like being nosy. I also think this is a beautiful build, but yeah. I also don't live too far away from Damsel. I can give you an aerial view, just a brief aerial view before I move on. I live really close to Damsel, so here's the Starlight Observatory. There's her Starlight Stadium. There's her house. There's her enchantment house, which they're calling, recently people have been calling it Toadette's house. I don't know exactly what she's calling it, but that's what people have been calling it. I've been a witness to her building this, but really a lot of times, like, we help each other and we go with each other to go and develop things like we will go and collect items together. Like, we'll go to the wood farm together when we're both on and stuff like that. But normally we kind of work on our own areas independently. Even though we do, like, when I was mining for all this copper, for example, she went with me. And then we ended up finding a trial chamber, and we attempted to defeat it together multiple times. Actually, some other things that I neglected to show you. I am not a sponsor or affiliated with the Pokemon League at all. I am a witness to it. I am a supporter of it, but I am not a sponsor in any capacity. So if you continue down here, one thing that I didn't show you is actually I do have an opening to an ancient city. So I don't think there's a sign here, but there's a sign over here that shows it to you. And if you ever would like to, this way to the ancient city, all you have to do is go down here. Follow the signs, and you'll end up at the ancient city. Previously, a roast con leche did explore the ancient city and did cover up all of the shriekers, which are the items that spawn the entity known as the Warden. But I released him because I wanted it to feel more natural, like it was a natural experience, especially for people who might stumble upon this area. Yeah, I have no intentions of like gentrifying this in any capacity. There is a an amethyst like I don't know what you would call it, like a vein of amethyst out here though that I do want to explore a little bit, but I'm not at liberty to do that currently. So I am at liberty to do that. I'm free to do it whenever I want to. This is basically my area still, but I'm just not fucking with it right now. Damsel and I had actually previously already had explored this area a lot prior to me figuring out that there was like figuring out that, first of all, because this hole had already been dug out. Like when I was on here, I came to this area, I started developing something else, which I'm going to show you next. This hole had already been dug out all the way down to the area next to the ancient city. I don't know who did it, but there was like a block that was stopping somebody from getting all the way down. So somebody else had already found this ancient city and already been over here. But me and Damsel had also come to the ancient city multiple times. And we had already utilized it for resources. So like, it wasn't really surprising. It was just kind of like, damn, somebody else had already been here this whole time. So there's that. And actually, the way that I even found this is because I was actually coming over here specifically to do this. It gets really loud over here, but I was specifically coming over here to do the clay farm. This is another one, a recent development that I've built. On the other side of this little forest, you'll see, all these trees are mine. All these pink trees are mine. All of them are mine. Until you get to like right here. You'll see there's a lighthouse over here, and over here you can see, just barely you can see it. That's the Pokemon League. But I have a clay farm that I'm developing, or that I've developed. It's a natural clay farm. Because like there is a clay farm. If you go to the Resonator in the server, there is a clay farm there, but I wanted one a little bit more local, especially because I am going to start harvesting bricks really soon. Or clay. I'm going to start harvesting clay for bricks. Also, like one of the things that I use a lot in my builds is terracotta. I bake the terracotta, so it's a lot. Did you have a good holiday? Did you have a good New Year's? Are you still a baddie? And if so, how big of a body are we talking about? Oh my god. How big of a baddie are we talking about? I am. Well, thank you for asking. Yes, I'm still a baddie. Christmas was great. I celebrate Christmas, so like you'll see. So like if you ever hear me talking about holidays, I do celebrate Christmas to a certain extent. I was raised religious. I am not currently religious in my lifestyle, but I do still, you know, celebrate Christmas with my family, spend time with family. I do things with it like that. Christmas was great. New Year's was fine. I wish I did something else like celebratory for New Year's, but I am planning on doing a presentation at the end of the week to talk about all my plans for the new year when it comes to streaming and content for at least the next few months, and things like that. You'll see me, as far as the server is concerned, I am working on another project. I can give you a glimpse of it, but I don't want to show you too much, but I will show you where I'm planning on developing the next shrine. It's outside of the Christmas town in the server called Hollyberry. So let's go see that. But thank you for asking, Water Penguin. I'm sorry I haven't really been super active with the chat, but I was just trying to give a tour so that people know what's going on in this area, at least a little bit better. Always, if you ever need items, come to my farm stand. So here's my area in the Nether. I did actually build a lot of this on stream, and then I worked on it independently outside of stream. So if you are ever in this area, I don't live far off from spawn. Me and Damsel are basically nether neighbors. We're neighbors in real life too. I mean, not real life, but like in the game, in the overworld. We're neighbors. You can see my house, even though I don't know if it's marked on this map. My house is right here. You can see all of these red roofs. All of this is the Pretty Pink Estates. All of this, where my pointer is, that's all of it. Hi, Rose. And if you cross this bridge, which this is the bridge right here, this is my fishing area. This is Damsel's fishing area. All of this is the Starlight District. All of this is the Starlight District here. All of this is the Pretty Pink Estates. Yeah, imagine if we did live together and we never said anything. That would be crazy. I don't know what any of these signs are, but if you would like to see, I don't know what this is either. Is this a barrel? There are maps here. I'm not going to get involved. Hollyberry is down here. A golem, hello? I'm gonna mind my business. Take me to Wonderland, Wonderland. Set me free. Aw, you're so cute, Pickled. Pickled actually has me locked away inside of his heart in like a bottom chamber, girl. Like, hashtag free me. Okay, so before I get into showing you this area, some of this is off limits. I'm not going to show you everything. Actually, let me cover this up a little bit because y'all can't be seeing all this. Don't forget to show up to the stream on Friday because I actually am going to be doing a Pretty Pink presentation to talk to you about a bunch of shit I have going on stream. But what I will show you is this is the area where I'm probably going to be developing the next shrine. It's going to be for a different entity than it's going to be for a different area than or for a different entity than the one who changed. I'm probably going to put the shrine over here somewhere. We're working on something. Here's a preview. There's your preview. And it's probably going to be in this area. I don't know exactly where, but it's going to be in the ice spikes. This little small establishment that I have talked about a lot off stream with people who are also in the server or people who have been talking to us in VCs, talking to me in VCs. This is actually right next to the ice races or whatever. Yeah, so it's right outside of Hollyberry. But that's where I plan on doing the next shrine. Similarly to how the one who changed is an entity who is related to death through his sacrifice of his own life, there is going to be an entity that I've discovered with my archaeological research of the area that is also associated with death, but in a different way. It's going to be honored with a shrine outside of Hollyberry. I can do a water. We can. You know what, Milotic? I'm hearing a little bit of rumblings about an archaeological dig going on out there too in the sand, and I'm open-minded to joining the party if that's what you're saying. Shout out to Charlie. Bitch, I'm about to get jumped. Where did he go? If he was bigger, he would jump me. They don't like me. Not the volcano erupting. I'm scared. I also do want to, at some point, develop a shrine in the rainforest, maybe. I've done a little bit of archaeological digging out there. when I was collecting the pandas, I found some really interesting finds. So far, this is the first uttering of a female entity in all of the land that has been worshipped and revered the way that the one who changed has been. And yet it's taking a long time for me to really find the it's taking me a long time to develop the next shrine because I need a little bit of public support. What inspired you to make the lore in Minecraft? Well, the community does really support the creation of lore. So like if you really want to get into it, basically all of this is actually talking about the archaeology. So like with mythology and all the information that we know about ancient cultures in the world, when we're talking about things like in IRL idol worship, what as they would call it, or really what they would call ancient paganism and ancient religion. It's through archaeological digs. It's through archaeological research of different cultures that have been happening for thousands of years, but we develop the information that we have based on the things that we find in these areas. So like so the one who changed is actually a representation of an archetype that you would find if you were to do research on that specific topic of ancient cultures, because he's sacrificed himself for the betterment of farming. Farming has been a part of culture for the past few thousand years in humanity, and there is a spiritual connection to that through the beliefs of people. And so that's what he is representing. And he happens to live here because this is my farm. Right? So if I was going to develop another shrine like this, let's say I was going to do another idol, another deity, whatever you call it, and when it was like one of death, or it was one associated with death, it would make sense for it to be in the near Hollyberry, because Hollyberry is the winter area, and it's the Christmas area, but that's the ice spikes area. It's the ice spikes biome. It's the taiga biome, so it's very cold. Winter is associated with death already naturally, especially in a spiritual sense with people, because people die a lot in the winter because winter has harsher conditions. And so it would make sense to have that association. Not to mention a lot of those mythological figures, a lot of those ancient deities, ancient figures are revered specifically towards the end of the year in the northern hemisphere because of their association with winter, which has an association with the nighttime and death, because the nighttime is longer in winter as well. Or like which is also true about anything that you would find out about deified figures associated with waters, especially the ocean, because the ocean at one point was very dangerous for people when we couldn't actually traverse the oceans the way that we do now in different cultures and around different parts of the world. So here's an outside view. Here's an aerial view. You want to see the aerial view before my elytra break? I was at one point, you see how Damsel has these lovely little hot air balloons. At one point I was gonna put a hot air balloon out here, but I decided not to. You can see my tree collection from above. There's a lot of acacia trees out here, a lot of spruce trees, a lot of cherry woods. There's a handful of other trees. A lot of the assortment of trees that I have, like acacia and other things, that are over here in this area anyway. That's basically it. When we talk about mythology, though, the other thing is, like, you have to understand ancient cultures had more of a relationship to war than we did, because they were smaller communities of people, and there are a lot of pocket communities surrounding each other fighting for land and resources. Now we have like these gigantic institutions that run government and that run people, and like the government has always existed, but the difference between what goes on now and what goes on in the past is that it used to be that, like, it wouldn't just be the governmental association that would be like, warring. It would be like people living in two different areas, part of two different groups. and they'd be fighting over the resources that they were supposed to be sharing, or that they at one point were able to share, but the population's not too big. You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So that's where a lot of that comes from, though, is my understanding or my own personal research on ancient cultures and things like ancient paganism. I can't necessarily say that I believe in all of that stuff. I think some of those things are good to take into the future with this, and some of those things are really great to leave in the past or to leave where they are. But that's what the first shrine is dedicated to, and if I were to develop any more shrines, that's what they would also be like. I don't know exactly how I would have any other shrines. Like, I would love to build a shrine out near Isle Delfino. I would love to build a shrine out near like in the rainforest. I would love to build a shrine in the ice, the taiga. Like, I would love to have all these different shrines and stuff. I just don't know exactly how I want to develop them. If you need to fix your tools, I can show you. If you need to fix your tools, it depends on if they have mending on them. If they have mending on them, then you can take your tools with mending and you can go to the, this is the last thing I'm going to do on stream, and then I'm going to end. I know I've only been going for an hour and a half, but I really didn't have any intentions of doing anything besides showing y'all Minecraft. If you do want to fix your tools, though, there's an experience farm in the area. So here is my portal. It's over here. It's right next to the Mio Park portal. So if you go over here, here's the Mio Park portal right here. Here is the portal for, this is Joanne's Meadow. And then if you go down here, it's like literally right next to Joanne's Meadow. If you go down here, it's the experience farm, which is in the end. But as long as you do it correctly, you shouldn't have any problems with like keeping your stuff or anything like that. Girl, they commodified the fuck out of this. I'm scared. And if you don't have mending, you can actually go to Mio Park, and if you do trading with the villagers in Mio Park, outside of Mio Park, then if you do it correctly, then you can actually get mending for your tools. Yes, keep inventory is enabled in the end currently, and in the Nether. They didn't update the sign, you're correct. I mean, that's it. Does anybody have any questions about my area? Y'all want to know anything extra? Can I show them your bed? He had a bed here. I don't know what this is. What do they need to see your bed for? I do like this little room. Oh, you got another TV. So do you actually sleep here, or is this just like, where's your actual bed? Because you had an actual bed here. You removed it for now? Oh, but so you're watching your streams here, but you don't actually live here. I'm sick. You live near me? Are you talking to me, Mobsuki? Where do you live? What's near Casper's Castle? What are you talking about? You're building a mini game. Interesting. Tell me more about that in the Discord. Milotic, can you link the Discord for me? Yeah, so if you're interested, make sure to join the Discord as always. Make sure to follow me on my socials. And if you're ever in the neighborhood, you can always come by and visit. Make sure to put something in my mailbox. Should you get on MC? I think you should, but I don't know what you're gonna do. Maybe you can scout out an area in the rainforest you live in to see if that's a viable area for me to build a shrine. But until then, we're gonna get out of here. I don't know if there's enough of us to raid someone. There's 10 of us. Y'all want to raid?
Wig, okay.
Wig, did you just say wig?
Yes.
I know, wig. I feel that already.
What is
Who should we raid? Let me look, see who's online.
It's just for us.
Why? Nor, I'm paying. I'm not doing this. What are you talking about? Wig? Hi, damsel. Does anybody want to play Mario Party? I wish damsel wasn't at work. I can tell she's at work because she stood up to my stream. Do y'all want to play Mario Party? Off stream? We're probably going to be in the VC. Okay, so we got Milotic, we got Mobsuki. Who should we raid? Who should we raid? Oh, Snowy's live playing Mario Kart World. Y'all, I've been here. Yeah, I said I know damsel. Yeah, we're gonna raid Snowy. Can we get the raid message in the chat? Copy the raid message once you see it in the chat and put it in Snowy's chat when we end up raiding. Right now, he is playing Mario Kart World. I don't know if he's playing with anybody or like his community or whatever, but we are gonna raid him. Snowy is a friend of mine, a friend and a sometimes collaborator. So I would love to see y'all join me for that raid. Thank you. This emote is for the for subscribers only. So if you are not subscribed, then take the emotes out of the copied raid message before you raid Snowy. Make sure to show up to my stream on Friday. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I do have a couple of things that I need to be doing in Pokemon, so I'm probably going to be working on that intermittently. And we're going to get out of here. So I will see y'all soon. Bye.